You were born into desire, forged in the fire of love. Every moment takes you higher, a power that comes from above. You hold the secret of the cipher, buried inside your heart. But the days and the nights are the longest to fight for the will to be free of the dark. Howdy, music lovers. Tom from Blakgraz here, and that is my new song that has just recently, today, been released. That is called You Will Be Amazing. I've been playing that one out for quite some time now, and it has gotten a lot of positive response at live shows. Got people dancing almost every single time I play that song. It's amazing. No pun intended. I just realized what I said. So it's funny because I've started other guitar and gab videos with that song in particular, and even done some acoustic stuff just for promotional pieces. So it's kind of cool now to actually be playing at the beginning of one of these videos, and the song is actually out right now. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm very proud of it. It's a conscious mixture of Steve Miller and the Rolling Stones and a couple other artists that I really love. And so I'm very excited to have another new song out, number one, but I'm also really excited to have this song out in particular because I was nervous about recording it. It was going over so well live that I was nervous about recording it and not having the same kind of energy that I get from the crowd in the recording. When people get up and start dancing, I just get crazier. So it came out really good. I'm very, very proud of it, and I'm actually grateful to Jeff and Beth, who helped fix Rufus, which we just did an update on that not too long ago, actually. Oh, because we were there and they let us plug into their electric, I was able to hook up the big computer in Rufus and actually finish that song, and to finish a backing track for a brand new song called Light Color Sound that I've been working on acoustically even longer than You Will Be Amazing. And one of the reasons that song kind of took longer to bring into the live setting as a market research track is because it's not normal. It's got a very interesting kind of Latin beat to it, and it's got this really interesting picking pattern on the guitar. Let's see if I can do it. So that is a real test if you're not used to doing that. Now, that's actually what Jerry Reed, that picking pattern is what Jerry Reed used to do, what he called the claw, except that I'm not using it as a country feel. I'm actually using it in a minor key and used with a Latin beat behind it. So it's the same pattern though. And there's actually another, a bunch of artists who have done that type of picking pattern before, but Jerry Reed was one of the first guys that I ever heard of that did that, and also Andy Summers from the Police. So I love that type of stuff, but it's not what folks are used to hearing, right? So I kind of held off on getting that one ready for live, but I've had songs like Me Gusta and Mucha Crema, and now I Just Want to Be go so well live at shows that I thought, and of course I have another one that I haven't played in a while, The Words That Lie actually has a Latin beat in it too, with kind of an indie rock pop feel. I haven't had another new one with a Latin feel for quite some time, so I'm excited that I actually put it in the set this Saturday, last night in fact, because to kind of say as a thank you to Jeff and Beth for helping take care of Rufus and fixing the parts and letting us stay there for so long to be able to get the parts and get everything taken care of. We actually, as in exchange, did a live show for them in their backyard.
Little Billy wants you, wanted to town.
I know she did. I'm a bad influence. I don't think I'm getting anybody, but we'll see.
Which is really cool because we learned this thing in North Carolina. They do something called, we're going to have a chicken stew. And what that means is you're going to have friends and family over, and you're going to make this big, huge pot of chicken stew, literally, and everybody's going to bring drinks and they're going to bring desserts. It's sort of like a potluck, but the main focus of the get-together is the chicken stew. So basically, after cleaning up on Friday and getting the yard ready and everything, then we spent the next day getting ready again, Saturday day, just kind of finishing up and getting the drinks together and all the ice and the desserts. And Martha and Beth were in the kitchen all day long cooking sourdough brownies and muffins and ciabatta or pita bread, and it was just awesome. It was such a great time. There were so many people there. It was wonderful, and I played for a long time. I started at about 5 o'clock and I went to about 9:30 with 1 half-hour break because I was just having so much fun. It's nice too because I've got enough songs to actually do that, but everybody's really cheering. It was so cool. I actually had them singing, really shouting, hooping and hollering on the Woohoo and Yeehaw and Find Your Way, the Cowboy song. But anyway, that was, I got to try this new song, Light Color Sound. It was funny too because I tried it before everybody got there, and Beth was in the kitchen getting stuff ready before Martha was out of the camper, and she shouted through the window, "That sounds really good out there." It was so cool. So then once people came, I played it again, and it was kind of nice because I had the one time to run through it and kind of get a feel for how the track feels, and I'm mixing myself with the vocals, and I'm playing acoustic guitar on that, playing this picking patterns really fast, and then trying to remember the words. But I've actually had this song for a long time, so I've been practicing it and going through it on acoustic occasionally, or just when I warm up and practice, just to make sure I have that picking pattern still down. Because if you don't do that on a regular basis, all of a sudden your fingers, they're used to doing other things like that solo I did on the other video for Heaven Help Us. They get used to that, and then if you don't use it, you lose it, right? But anyway, it was interesting to finally be able to play it with the track on a stage, their back porch patio, right? And hear what it sounds like. So now I've got You Will Be Amazing out, and I've got this new song at the live shows that I'm going to be doing that's brand spanking new, which is called Light Color Sound. But I still have a whole bunch of other songs that are not done being recorded yet. In fact, I Just Wanna Be is almost done, or almost ready to be finished and released. My Mama Told Me is a new one that is just at live shows. All the Way is another one that's just at live shows. So, and plus the Cajun Strut is still has not been finished. Like I did Laissez le bon temps rouler, which is Let the Good Times Roll, and that's actually one of my top songs on Spotify right now, which is kind of neat. But I also have the Cajun Strut, which is still a live track, but I have not finished recording, and Mardi Gras. That was a really fun song. You can't use it all year long. You can if people are really drunk and having a good time. But yeah, you don't generally do that one. So those are songs that I still have to just finish recording the studio versions of, let alone now I have a list of songs from hanging out with Jeff and Beth and Reagan and Dustin and Weston and Dakota and everybody. I have a list of titles for songs that I want to actually start writing too. One of them happens to be Famous and Fancy, because as I said in another video, Reagan, their granddaughter, Jeff and Beth's granddaughter said, well, those fancy people are staying over. She's telling all her friends too. It's hilarious. Oh yeah, those famous people, they're staying over with my grandpa again. And I mean, it's just, I guess we're famous now. I don't know. So if y'all think so, comment down below. I think it's pretty funny, which is really cool. But also, Beth was teasing Martha saying, how do you know how to do this sourdough and all this interesting food stuff, and you make stuff so fancy, you're so fancy. So I gotta write a song now about being famous and fancy. I've got a phone full of audio clips of ideas and chords and progressions and things that I want to turn into songs too. So it just never seems to be enough time. And then I get to the end of a day or a weekend like this, and oh man, I'm just tired. After working on Rufus, then helping get the place ready for the party, then playing the party, then staying up till 4:30 in the morning and talking and just having fun, meeting everybody. Wow. And I want to practice, or I want to plug in and start recording something else, or do something, and you just got to stop. You just got you got to let your body recover. So fortunately, we've got a few days before I have to play on Thursday, and then we're playing again Saturday. We're still in North Carolina, and then we're going to be heading to Georgia. And I'm just super excited. Rufus, we drove about an hour and a half or so to get to where we are now from Elkin. And I went underneath to do the walk around after we set up camp here. And he is dry as a bone, like he's supposed to be on that passenger wheel. And that's a really good sign. So it's another thing, and new tires, new brake pads. So it's another thing off the vital checklist. Can we make it to the next show?
You can mention Hoke, Jeff's brother.
Oh, geez, yeah. Of that poor guy. Jeff has a brother. His name is Hoke, and he basically does RVs. He repairs, the cabins and the roofs, and doesn't do the chassis. Jeff was the guy that worked on the truck chassis, engines, and stuff like that. But Hoke does all of the repairs for RVs, and he's out of Florida. So he arrived, and I'd met him a couple days before when we went to Harry's in Elkin for dinner. They kind of do a traditional Wednesday thing, and he was there actually. He actually bought everybody dinner, and it was very kind of him. So when he came up, then I found out later, it's like, that's my brother who does RV work, and we need a roof, and he guarantees his work for life. So if anything goes wrong, you come back and he fixes it. And that's the kind of guy I like working with, somebody who believes in what they're doing. And he sounds really knowledgeable, really smart fella, and nice, super nice guy. So first thing he did when he pulled in the yard, I ran up to him like, "You're Hoke, right?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And I said, "I met you at Harry's, and thank you so much for buying dinner. Will you take a look at my roof?" He hadn't just got out of the car, and I had him climbing up on top of Rufus to give me an estimate for a new roof on Rufus, because we need a new roof. We need work on him. So he gave me an estimate, and he said, "Well, if you can get down to Florida, his place is right off of the highway, and he'll let us stay there for as long as it takes to fix the roof and everything." So he said, "If you can get to Florida, then I'll fix your roof." And I said, "All right, I've got to get to Florida. Probably won't be able to do that till late next year. And now I got to save up the money to be able to not just get to Florida, but to be able to pay him to fix for the roof too." So, but hey, you need goals, right? Go as far as you can see, and then you'll see further. So that's what we're planning is late next year we're going to make it to Florida and have him work on this roof for us, which would be wonderful. And I suspect by then some more of the chassis stuff, maybe like the power steering and the brake master cylinders, will be taken care of as well. So that'd be really nice. Another nice thing on Rufus is we're not hearing the squeaking like we did before. And I checked the gear oil in the back axle, and it's full, so that's good. And the front two are full, and we got all the brake pads and tires. I told you all about that. So there's a lot that's been happening, and I know I just did a video not shortly before, but sometimes we get done with these things and we think, "Oh, I should have mentioned this, or I should have mentioned that." I got to make sure I say this too. I put on one of my favorite t-shirts. This is JDs Southside. This is a music store that I actually sing this song down at Dave's place about. So that one's called Down at Dave's Place, and it's about his store. And I wanted to wear this today because we've been given so many shirts by all these wonderful venues, and we want to promote them. But I also want to make sure I remember one of the fellas that actually helped get us going from the very beginning. Dave Pendergraft from JDs Southside has got to be one of the staunchest Blakgraz supporters we've ever known. One of the best, biggest hearts you could ever know in your life. You could hope to know someone as nice and as generous as Dave Pendergraft. If you ever get a chance, make sure you get down to the store and you tell them about Blakgraz. Tom and Martha said, "Hey."
Should you tell them about how y'all met?
Oh, well, sure, yeah, I can do that. This is going to be a long video, but sure. So basically, I was calling to get a show at a place called Silos, and I think that's up in Fredericksburg.
No.
Or no, was it New Braunfels?
New
Braunfels
out that
up
way,
there?
yeah.
And the management sent me to Dave. They said, he's a musician, he plays here too, but he takes care of the bookings for us. So I got in touch with him, and I sent him some links to go look at, and he called me a couple minutes later. He's like, holy cow, you're really good. I said, does that mean I get the gig? So he helped me get booked there, and I treated him like an agent, and so I just started paying him 15% commission on every show that he booked there, even though he kept saying, don't send me that. I'm not an agent, I'm just helping them out. But he got me in, and so out of respect, I wanted to do that. So that was just all over the phone, though, and we talked for a long time, because he's been playing country music in Texas since 1966. I insist that he is the king of Texas country. He doesn't like that because he doesn't think he's famous. At least, well, now he is. He's famous and fancy. However, he knows everybody, though. I mean, he knows everybody. So he's just been doing it so long that he knows everyone. And now he's got a music store, so everybody's coming to him and buying gear from him, too. So anyway, I had never met him, though, up to that point. So then we actually heard I had a night off on a weekend, and he was playing up at a place called 1693 Distillery. Great place. If you ever get up to Fredericksburg, make sure you hit the wine tour, and make sure you say hey to Brooks over at the 1693 Distillery. They have amazing whiskey. And they're great place, great people. So I wanted to play up there too, and I thought, shoot, he's playing up there. I'll go up and meet him finally, shake his hand so he knows what I'm like, and we'll both, Martha and I, we'll go up and we'll just introduce ourselves. So I called him to double check that we were going to go, that he was going to be there, and he said, wait, you're going to come up and see me? I was like, yeah. And he said, well, my son-in-law hurt his back, so he hasn't been playing with me for a while now, and I've been doing show after show. He's been 5 in a row, and he's got a sore throat. I'm going to put you to work. Bring your guitar. So I brought my gear up and set up, and I helped him do that show so that he didn't have to sing it all by himself after that many shows and being sick too. Well, we got to playing, and he took one break, I think, after the first hour, and then I was like, hey, I'll just keep going, if you want to take a break and then come back up when you're ready. Well, he came back up after he sat down for a minute, and then we went for another 3 hours nonstop.
Hold on. Cue the video of that.
Cue the video of us playing. It is so funny, too, because he says, hey, country music meets jazz, And I just met the guy. So anyway, so we just kept doing, and he'd say, all right, we're going to take a break. And I said, I'll play another song. You go ahead and take a break. And he's like, well, no, I'm going to stay too then. And then he said, oh, I'm going to do another song now. I say, okay, cool. After you do song, I'll do another song then. Because I wanted people to hear what I was doing. I wanted 1693 to hear what I was doing. I wanted Dave to hear what I could do too. But we were actually having fun. He'd be singing a song, and I'd be trying to mess him up on purpose. I'd be saying stuff to try and get him to laugh. Or he'd be saying stuff to me, and he'd making comments. He's the guy that actually borrowed the phrase from Howdy, Music Lovers. And that's the guy I wrote that song, Man, I've Got a Song for You. Got a Song for You is him singing on that. That's Dave Pendergraft. So that experience impacted me so deeply, and he's such a good man. He's such a big heart, probably bigger than the state of Texas. So I had to, I just have to honor him wearing this shirt again, letting him know, sending it out there into the universe that, boy, we just love him and we miss him and everybody down at JDs Southside. That song down at Dave's place, I talk about the times when he had those monthly get-togethers. All the musicians, professionals too, from the area would come in, and I'll just do this big jam session. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. When I was going there, so I met all these folks from the area, and they were all really nice to me and welcoming. So I put them all in a song. It basically is like, Michael grabs Vaughn's guitar, Ben will make the party roll. So Michael was a country singer from the area. Vaughn is from Custom Build Guitars, which is what I'm playing here today. This is actually Chosette too, I should show you. She's called the Lang. Basically supposed to be a lot like Trey Anastasio's The Langdon, and I didn't even know that until, and I'm a Fish fan, I didn't know, I knew he had an interesting guitar, I didn't know that this is what it looked like. But this thing is amazing. It's got both these double humbuckers can be tapped to be single coil. It's got 3 positions, so you got 7 different sounds out of this beautiful thing, and it's only semi-hollow, and there's a big honking piece of wood right through the middle here for the distorted sound, so that they still come through the way you need them. And it's just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous instrument. So pretty. And every time I put it on stage, people just kind of turn around like, whoa, what is that? So it does the job in a whole bunch of different ways. So Vaughn, that's him from Austin, Texas, Custom Build Guitars.
Dave introduced you. The only place to buy those guitars
from a store.
From a store
the
is
only place is the JDs Southside. The t-shirt
or you buy direct from Vaughn.
Or you can buy them from thinderheardguitars.com. You can buy them off the site, or you can contact him directly. But Dave introduced me to Vaughn, and Vaughn endorsed me when we went on the road and sent me with guitars and said, here, just do some videos and talk about the guitars and see if you could help sell some. And I gotta be honest, these are some of the best guitars I've ever played in my life, and I've played expensive guitars in LA. At Norm's Rare Guitars, I picked up some really expensive guitars, and they did not sound near as good, and they did not play near as well. So I really like, everything Vaughn touches is gold for me. So then it talks about Ben will make the party roll. That's Ben Meyer from the area too, and he's a big country singer down there as well. The second part, James on lead again, Sabrina laying down the soul, oh yeah, and she don't stop. So that's James, the lead guitar player. I don't know his last name. Garcia, James Garcia in San Antonio. Amazing guitar player. Check him out. And of course, Sabrina Estevez, she's a star. I mean, she's becoming a real country star, and she's so talented.
And James also does some guitar lessons.
Oh yeah.
At JDs Southside too.
He teaches there too. So when I met these folks, I just met them as just, normal folks coming in to do a jam session, and they were all so good. I was like, oh man, this is really cool. Everybody knows what they're doing, right? Sounded great. It was fun. Everybody was super welcoming to us and nice. They talked to us and welcomed us in. So that left me with a really deep impression. I wanted to remember that, right? So I put it in this song down at Dave's place, and so I wanted to wear this t-shirt today in honor of them and JD Southside and Dave Pendergraft. So that's kind of how we met and how we got connected with Custom Build Guitars. And man, I miss everybody. I miss all those folks. It's so much fun. They're so good. It's hard to find musicians who are really nice people. Often you run into folks who are kind of egomaniacs or kind of difficult to work with, or
LSD disease,
lead singer disease, or whatever. It's just never know. And hey, I'm not perfect either. There have been a lot of times I've been very difficult to deal with because I knew what I wanted, and it didn't always line up with the folks that I was working with, what they wanted. And so, that's on me, right? I wasn't always willing to compromise, which is a big part of why Blakgraz came along. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what kind of sound I wanted, and so I kept pushing, and that would cause stress. And, so when you do that, you kind of ask for the grief that comes along with it. So I take responsibility for that. But, man, everybody we met down in San Antonio, especially through JDs, have just been real big cheerleaders. They're rooting for us out here on the road. They're so kind. Everybody's so nice, and they speak well of us and send good energy. And they're always telling Dave to tell us. They said hey, and it's amazing to know that there are people out there that actually care about what happens to you. When you're driving down the road and it's late and you're tired and you feel like nobody's around, it's dark and it's out in the highway and there's just nothing, you can't see anything except the road for forever. You start to wonder if it's even worth it or if anybody even cares what you're doing. And then you call home to San Antonio and you hear people talking about how excited they are to see the videos that we're putting up and all the different shows that we're playing. and all the songs and the music that's coming out of it, and they're excited for us. You know, that is, I mean, that means a lot. It really means a lot. I can't even express it in words, so I'm not gonna even try. So a big hello to everybody in San Antonio. We miss y'all. A big hello to everybody who's listened this long. This is a long video, so I apologize. I get to rambling sometimes. But there's a lot to celebrate on the Blakgraz side, especially the fact that y'all are watching, and people more than ever are starting to comment and like and subscribe and just help out. I mean, just everybody's being so wonderful, and we're meeting nice people everywhere we go. Every place we go, every venue, every city, every small town, every village, every corner, every gas station, everywhere we go, we meet nice people. People behind registers, waiters and waitresses, bartenders, people that are just super, super nice. So I don't believe anything the news says about the world falling apart. I think if anything, it's coming together more than ever. So I'll leave you with this. Just thank you for everything you've done already, and if you haven't, make sure you subscribe and give a like. Don't forget, we've got CDs on sale online for print on demand. Hopefully soon in the future we'll actually have them carrying with us to shows. We have handmade t-shirts at shows. We've got print on demand stores online with merch as well. We got the beer koozies at the shows, and now we've even got more new songs that haven't been recorded yet that you can only hear live at shows. And I promise you, if you request one of my songs, I'm gonna bump that up to a priority song to play for you at a show. So do me a huge favor, come out to a show sometime and request one of my songs. All right, y'all, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope to see you at a show real soon.